back around, because how can you sit there and tell a lie to me when you know the whole while that that's my child in that gym? So anyway, they sat us in there for hours and hours. So they wanted to get us off campus after that. So they took us from sit in the council in some kind of room to all the way off the campus down there in the superintendent's office down there. So we went down there. We stayed from down there because, mind you, I went to school at like 7 something that morning. We left off school. When they came back in there to finally talk to us, it was like 5:45. That's when Prime and 3 more of his little goons came in there, and he said he was wanted to tell us that the person they had found was Kendrick Johnson. He had no visible bruising. He had no scars, no bullet wounds, no nothing. Those are the lies they were telling us now. Now, mind you, of the pictures that's floating around social media with my son.
I was going to try to work my way into that. Because to say that there was no bruising, or no, they couldn't have, they couldn't have been being honest, because if anybody's seen those autopsies, because I've seen them, I wasn't going to show them tonight. I'm not going to show them tonight. But those autopsy photos were hideous. They were hideous.
And it's sad to say some of those were not even autopsy photos. Some of those are the pictures, like every year it's like another picture released. Just this year, we got a picture that came about that we had never even seen before. And when I tell you that these pictures are worse than the ones that we seen before, these are like pictures when he was on the gym floor, the real pictures. We sued them to get those pictures. That's the only way they gave us these pictures. And when I tell you that my son looked worse than the pictures that are out on social media, like, I'm telling you, if I didn't know God, I would be really crazy. I wouldn't even know my own child. That's just how bad those new pictures. I just pray that my kids don't ever see those pictures. That's just how bad they are.
Let's take it to like when the investigation starts, and y'all try to get the video from the school. You start trying to get the video footage from the gym. How did that kick off, and how did it end up turning out?
Well, for years we never got those videos. They always came up with an excuse. Kids were in the pictures, so they couldn't give it to us, and they didn't have the original copies. They had to go get them pulled from the hard drive, and it was just all these excuses. But just like they were saying, it was a freak accident. If it was all that, how can Kendrick clothes go missing, his nails cut on the scene, they took out every internal organ, went missing? If it was just an accident, why are all these things happening to my kid?
Do you feel like that footage was altered at all? Do you feel like they gave you the raw footage? How do you feel about the?
It most definitely was. CNN had it sent to some guy that analyzed it, and they had like different body parts on kids with different dates, all kind of different stuff messed up in it. So we know for sure that it was altered.
There was a different sheriff in office at the time that this happened. Now that they have a new sheriff, has he been more cooperative with the investigations? I'm sure with any depositions that y'all have filed, any lawsuits,
No.
have they been more cooperative?
He was the sheriff that had been in office for years before this other sheriff got in there. He's no better than the other sheriff that was in office. So he haven't done anything. He got in there. He went to all those black businesses and told them if he got back in office, he was going to reinvestigate Kendrick case. He was going to do this and then do that. And I looked those guys in the barbershop in that face, and I told him he's not going to do nothing. He just want to get back in office, and he using y'all to get back in office. And that's exactly what he did. He flipped the script once he got in office, and he said out of all those 17 boxes that he looked in, he didn't see nothing. But my husband went on the news and rebutted every lie that he told with facts to prove it. That's the thing they be so mad about, because we come back with facts to prove it.
How has your husband been doing with all of this? How you know when he initially found out, when the day he found out up until now, and I know it's hard for you to speak for him. I really wish he was here. I would love to virtually shake his hand. Well, how has he internalized this, or has he been coping with this?
Well, when he first found out about it, just like everybody else, he was a wreck. But just like with everybody else, he had to put on his big boy drawers and stand up for the family, because we was all just tore up. This is something we had never experienced before, besides my baby girl passing. But for somebody to take my child's life, it was a different ball game. It was a different era. So he stood up. He been the man that's taking in charge. Like, for the first year, I could not even speak about Kendrick. I was on the news, and the first time I had to say his name or say a word or two, I'm boo crying. So he stood in the gap for all of us. He been the person that everybody go to, like when you having a bad day. So we know when he's having a bad day, he don't want to be bothered. He just want to sleep and sleep. So we leave him alone. Like, we we done got to the point where we know when everybody just having one of them days, just let them have their day and let them be. So at the times he get like that, he's only human. It was his child. And when I tell you, him and his child, I call him and his child because they were like this. I'm talking about, you seen one, you seen the other. When summer came and Kendrick was out of school, he was on the truck with his dad, gone riding around for the whole entire summer, unless he had football camp or something to go to. His dad used to take him, and they used to like to go find the biggest hamburger ever. People ask me, well, what was Kendrick's favorite food? And I tell him a hamburger. He just wanted to find the biggest hamburger it was to eat, because that little boy know he could eat.
Did he like to go fishing? He ever go fishing? Cause I know y'all down there.
I always like go like on the road. He like to take them to different cities, and they used to like to watch the football games together, talk junk. And we was the type of family, we didn't care about furniture, and we didn't care about all that. We be in here wrestling and having water fights and all kind of stuff. But like now everything is just out of white. Like, we don't do none of that no more. We just, I can't even say we in our grieving process right now, because we've been fighting. We've been in battle mode since day.
And it's crazy that you say that, because I actually said that yesterday when I announced that y'all were gonna be here today. I actually said that y'all really haven't even had a chance to just sit back, take a deep breath, and miss him, right? You haven't really had a chance to just, you know, in your own mind and just in your own consciousness, just take a deep breath and just sit back and realize that, you know, he's actually gone. What was his favorite food? What did you say? Hamburgers? Other than football, did he have any other hobbies or anything like that?
Oh, he played basketball and he ran track. Like, Kendrick was the type of kid, he just liked to be around his family. Like, he had guys from his football team that he had grown up with from elementary, and those were the only people that he would hang out. But only thing they would do was like go to the movies and go to them little old food joints. After that, they back home. They was their own little crew. They hung together. They didn't get in no trouble. They had won every football game from being in elementary to up to the high school. Like, they were just together, guys.
What do you have anything like that you just hold on to that reminds you of him the most, like a keepsake, like maybe a chain or a hat or a shirt? Or
I have his. I got all his clothes, and
so
I
you wear
made.
his clothes? You wear his clothes?
I wear his tennis shoes and his hat. He got a pair of green All Stars and a green Celtics hat he used to wear, and I wear those sometimes. But I took all his shirts and I made them. I had them made into a quilt, so I got
I
all
saw
his
that
shit.
quilt. I remember
Yeah.
that quilt. You had all his shirts and everything made into this huge. I remember that quilt. I saw that quilt. I remember that. I remember that. So, but I didn't. I never thought that you would like wear his clothes, whether it be his shoes or maybe a shirt or a jersey or something like that. Maybe a chain that he had.
Yep, I wear that silk his hat and his green All Stars.
Do y'all have like a memorial service every year? What do y'all do? What are some of the things that y'all do to memorialize?
I do every year. I do his anniversary to remember Kendrick because I'm gonna make sure that he's never forgotten. Every
Uh,
January the 10th, I do an anniversary gala for him.
I like that angelversary.
Yep, because that's
I've
our
never heard of
angel.
that. I like that. I like that. Bando, once again, y'all. That is the cash app for the KJ Foundation. That's pinned right above her head, y'all. Mod, if I could please get y'all to put the Zelle and the PayPal in the comments. We want to try to help and support as much as we can. I'm getting ready to read the article that came across my phone in regards to the um, lawsuit that y'all filed on the 25th of July. This is out of the Miami Herald. Have you read that Miami Herald article?
Me?
Uh-huh.
No.
Okay, so yeah, there was an article that came out in the Miami Herald 2 days ago. I saw it yesterday, and as soon as I saw it, I called you. So it says teen found dead and rolled up gym mat. Then his organs went missing in Georgia, suit says. The parents of Kendrick Lamar Johnson, whose body was found upside down inside a rolled up gym mat at his Georgia high school in 2013, say a wealth of new material evidence contradicts the original determination that his death was accidental. In an amended federal lawsuit filed by Kenneth and Jacqueline Johnson on July 25th against Georgia Department of Public Health challenges what the filing says is a significantly and physically impossible narrative that their 17-year-old son died from a freak accident during school hours. The Johnsons' lawsuit also questions why Kendrick's organs went missing after his initial autopsy. An issue the parents say they have asked several state officials but have yet to receive any answers on. The whereabouts of his organs remain unknown, according to the Johnsons' amended complaint. The Georgia Department of Public Health Communications Director Nancy Needham Schreck declined McCarthy News' request for comment on July 29th. She said the department does not comment on pending litigation. Kenneth and Jacqueline Johnson have previously said Kendrick was murdered at Lowndes High School in Valdosta in 2013, according to prior reporting from McCarthy News. State and local investigators believed he accidentally died after he climbed into a rolled-up wrestling mat to grab a tennis shoe that was said to be inside and became stuck. The new evidence obtained by the Johnsons in the last several months, according to the lawsuit, includes photos from his autopsy performed by a state medical examiner with the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, who ruled Kendrick died of accidental positional asphyxiation, a conclusion his parents say is false. According to the lawsuit, photos from the initial autopsy showed Kendrick's internal organs were severely injured. This contradicts the GBI medical examiner's report that noted he had no major injuries, the complaint says. Images of Kendrick's body at his high school indicate that he was stomped on with extreme force, according to the complaint. Kendrick's death was investigated by the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office with help from the GBI as well as the FBI and the Department of Justice, according to the GBI Public Affairs Director, Sarah Liu. In a statement on the agency's behalf, let me pull back down. Liu told McCarthy News that July 29th that the GBI Medical Examiner's Office conducted a thorough autopsy in this case. The case is closed and we stand behind our original findings, Liu said. The Johnsons previously filed a $1 billion lawsuit against the Lowndes County Sheriff's Office and the GBI accusing him of a cover-up in connection with their investigation of Kendrick's death. McClatchy News reported. Lou noted that separate litigation against the GBI is pending. In the Johnson's federal lawsuit against the Georgia Department of Public Health and Safety, they are specifically suing the agency for failing to correct his fraudulent cause of death. Kendrick's parents sent the agency 2 requests in September and October of 2023 to amend his death certificate based on the independent pathologist William Anderson determining his death was no accident, the complaint says. Supporting his conclusion, Anderson shared photos with the Johnsons of a collapsed and hemorrhaging carotid artery from his autopsy, according to the lawsuit. The complaint argues that the State Department of Public Health is failing to act and not updating Kendrick's cause of death certificate, as well as not formally rejecting his parents' request to amend it, and in violation of Georgia law and the 14th Amendment. If the department rejected their request, it would allow the Johnsons the opportunity for an appeal to request a hearing. The complaint notes the Johnsons' amended suit says new evidence in the case also raises serious questions about the conflicting official claims regarding Kendrick's internal organs, the chain of custody of the internal organs, and how and why those organs were not returned to the plaintiffs as required by law. After his body was exhumed for another autopsy, Anderson found Kendrick's organs were gone. CBS News reported in October of 2013, instead of organs, the pathologist found newspapers stuffed inside the body cavity. I feel outraged about them stuffing my son's body with newspaper, Jacqueline Johnson told CBS at the time. So they're quoting Ms. Johnson in that particular quote. The lawsuit accuses state officials of refusing to share information about the disappearance of Kendrick's organs. The complaint states, the new evidence concerning Kendrick's missing internal organs and Georgia Department of State inquiry into the matter under then Secretary Brian Kemp, and the department's refusal to provide the plaintiffs with all information, evidence, reports, and final disposition of any inquiry into the missing organs under Georgia's Open Records Act would lead to a reasonable person to conclude that the department's refusal to amend the cause of death on Kendrick's death certificate in accordance with the Georgia Code isn't based on merits, but instead undue nefarious influences in higher state government positions of influence and power. The Johnsons further accused the state medical examiner of butchering Kendrick's back during his initial autopsy under the guise of performing a legitimate posterior autopsy, and at that tampering of his body took place according to their lawsuit. By happenstance, the plaintiffs recently discovered their son's body had been tampered with in a feeble attempt by authorities to conceal a multiple of injuries on KJ's body, the complaint says. The Justice Department closed an investigation into Kendrick's death in 2016. Federal investigations found insufficient evidence to support federal criminal charges, the Department of Justice said in a news release at that time. The Johnsons suspect Kendrick, who was black, was killed by 2 white students at Lowndes County High School, McClatchy News reported in 2021. Kendrick's parents did not return McClatchy News' request for a comment on July 28th. With their lawsuit against the state health department, the Johnsons seek $12 million in damages and demand a jury trial.